In that period, I feel like people were doing the homework.
Yeah.
And maybe those people were older than we were. So around the time I would be listening to him, I don't know, I was probably in my teens. So I just didn't have the mental capacity to get down with what he was talking about.
Right.
Now, though, I'm kind of disappointed in myself because now I'm older than him in accordance to this album. And I'm like, damn, he was so ahead of us. He makes us look stupid. But I think what he was pushing for was like pushing language forward. The way he talks and the way he raps on his album.
So much different words, a variety of words.
He anchored himself into something we can all relate to, but he wrote beyond what we were expecting verbally.
He found his own section of hip hop history by being so unique in the fact that dare someone want to duplicate that? Yeah. It would be tough.
And the thing is, he kind of did do a duplicate of Daylight and called it Nightlight.
Yeah.
Which was, and he paralleled basically the wording, but he made it like the opposite of it.
Yes.
Nuts.
See, now that's just him screwing around with English.
Nuts.
Yeah, but let's go in on this though. Okay. Effort in rap, right? Effort in rap.
Right.
The amount of effort that I feel like Aesop puts in his work and Lupe puts into his work, it's something that no matter what us as MCs or enthusiasts of hip hop even deal with, we're never going to be able to appreciate it because
unless we were doing something like this. I mean, how would I have ever really dived in if we were not doing something like this?
Right. Even as a writer and an artist, you know, it's just like it pushes us so far into the future. Like Aesop Rock, he writes like he's not on in the same year as us. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like he
writes like he's not even
in
here.
The Shakespeare.
Yeah,
days.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, like
Rakim writes like he's in the city in 1990, motherfucker.
Like if he was in medieval times or something, writing this like.
But he writes like he's in just this room by himself,
and purgatory.
He's like, these rhymes do it for me,
right?
And then like someone comes on, hey, can I see that? And he's all holding it back,
right?
But then he invites you to it.
He does invite you. He only invites you if you have the willingness to not like do it for clout or do it to copy him. Like he wants you to do it honestly. Like he wants to invite you in if you are honest and want the real knowledge for your own betterment. But any other reason than that, he doesn't really want the herd exactly.
I don't think there's any other rapper where you're going to have to rewind an album so many times for this.
Yeah.
But are we there in hip hop for this type of instance?
Yeah, I mean,
I am.
Yeah.
It's going to require somebody. It's a particular type of hip hop person though that's going to enjoy that, or it could even be like you guys were saying, somebody that's like a thespian or a thespian. I mean, that's like outside of that. But.
Well, I think if you want to dig in, this kind of work is fun to dig into. You know, when you go into a deep poet and they explore their ideas and thoughts and they write a book and we read them, we can read them from our perspective and we have experiences. But Aesop is like, he writes and presents his information and his lyrics in a way that I don't think anybody can duplicate. You can't match what he's doing flow-wise. You're not really going to be able to write to the depth that he has. So Aesop, I feel like personally knew his level of skill and didn't have much of an ego about it. But I disagree with you on the invitation idea. I don't think he invited anybody. I think he made this album and he just threw it out there in the world. I don't think there's no invitation. I don't think he invites anybody until Impossible Kid, because all of his work is like, you have to climb this mountain before you even realize you're not even on the mountain.
And I guess the only reason I say that he invited you in because he has a line in there that says, I'll hold the door open for you. You could stumble in.
Yeah.
Knowing you're not going to exactly just come in knowing everything. You're going to stumble in.
Imagine that you're like flummoxed, right? You're like so out of your mind, you stumble in the door because you don't even know if this is the right door. That's how fucked up he is lyrically. Not fucked up in the mind, but just fucked up in regards of how deep we have to dig to get something out of this guy, man.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite part about Aesop. It's like I can really dig mindlessly through his lyrics and get gems no matter what happens, bro. So him anchored to the idea of the labor force and working, and then seeing those parallels to like the military, or just even the idea of just signing yourself away, the working class, and signing yourself away and not having dignity. Like there's no dignity left. Yeah. You're just kind of an empty vessel and just trying to provide because there's no other option available. I feel like this thing feels just so bigger. It's so much bigger than what we're looking at or what we're listening to. So this one works. His other works is like, there's a personal adventure that we go through through Aesop's consciousness to get an idea. Whereas this one is like Aesop is sitting down and watching the world get fucked up by the labor force. And I feel like we have a fighting chance to like dissect what's going on. So yeah, this one's nice. I ain't mad at it.
But, you know, I want to do a little question here. Do you think you have to be this encrypted to get a big idea such as this out?
No.
No. Hell no.
People have been rapping about the injustices of black on black crime,
Yeah.
the inner city,
Yeah.
gang violence.
Well, then,
And they've done it more rhythmically.
Right.
They've done it to where they've invited people in to listen to it. Our last episode before we covered Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
And Ice Cube isn't densely layered like this. He's just saying, I went down the avenue and shot a nigga, right? And that's it.
Yeah.
Well, Aesop is like, I opened doors, went down the avenue to see a man.
And I was adjacent from him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the in the holster was the thing that would give me plans or something like right.
Pentadragon
Right.
or something like
Or show him the pentagram,
some
right? I don't
reference
know.
you don't know yet.
Yeah.
The last thing he saw was the light flash from the pentagram, right? And you don't know what he's talking about.
And he knew
then
I
you
was a
gotta
high caliber man. Or
Right. He was a
something
high
like that.
caliber man. Where the barrel holds, like he's just like, I don't know what's going on anymore.
Now,
so the metaphors and the associations are the two factors I feel like he was really early in the game on, right?
Yeah.
Very early in the game on. Metaphors are really interesting in regards to telling a great story. I'm thinking of Nas, right? Nas is excellent at just portraying a solid story with great metaphors, great street moments, and people in the street get it. Aesop doesn't feel like I'm really trying to imagine one of my favorite street homies and playing this for him, you know, like really trying to play it for my boy, like somebody like Cam or somebody like, yo, Cam, sit down, bro, listen to this one, and playing Aesop for him. I'm gonna get my ass beat by the end of the song. I'm not being funny. I just don't feel like Aesop is for that demographic. Aesop is for MCs, one, but also scholars, people that want to go further in, right?
That's for sure.
I want more depth than this than a DMX song. No disrespect to DMX. We just looked at the vocabulary range, and DMX was on the low end, and Aesop was on the high end. And looking at that idea is like he pushed every boundary that he could in regards to what he was doing. But when I look at Aesop, he looks like he doesn't want to fucking do none of this shit. Every interview, he looks like he hates his fucking career.
Dog, it is the most.
It's like depressing watching.
It is a hip hop contradiction.
He is, man. He's like a god and he hates himself, man.
Yeah.
So,
And then he'd be the type to watch this episode like, yeah, they're not that far off.
not for and I don't like either of them. I don't like either.
This episode's the worst.
So then, I mean, this encrypted style is it's more or less his thing. I mean, he's
this is
like even up to the most recent album.
It's
he
the
still
furthest
raps like
branch,
this, right?
The furthest branch in hip hop, but it's the highest branch we got in hip hop.
Well, I mean, let's be realistic, right? We still had Doom by then. We had Operation Doomsday already out by then. Was Mad Villainy out by then? I can't remember. Okay,
Mad Villainy was.
All right, so Operation Doomsday still set a standard, right? Lyrically, you're listening and you got to chisel down, right? I call it the chisel effect. You got to chisel away what he's saying, right? But with Doom, eventually you feel like I understand what just happened. I made it through, and now I know some dude came out on the street. I'm talking about Red and Gold. Some dude came out with his chain on, got his ass beat, and now he's bleeding in the street. It's called Red and Gold. All right, I get the concept. It's funny. Aesop, he would do the same concept, Red and Gold, and nothing would connect to red or gold or anything.
Yeah, you're not chipping it away. You're getting this big ass fucking drill.
Yeah.
Trying to chip away this thing that you can't even get to.
Fucking Total Recall drill, trying to go all the way through as far as I can.
I felt
and
uneasy.
get nowhere.
I felt very uneasy listening to this album because my brain's trying to connect normal ideas that we would find in hip hop. And
verse structure, nigga, fucking couplets. At least is this a couplet? I'm sorry. I'm just on your end.
Yeah, we're trying to find these connections. We're making connections, but our brain is like really grasping at this idea. Is like, I'm supposed to get this. I'm supposed to find these connections. We find them here and there, and that's where that's where I'm getting really happy. That's where my endorphins start kicking. I'm like, all right, cool. Like those, but it's so few and far between. That I want to keep listening to this guy. I mentioned to Isaiah before you came into the Come Sit With Us studios. I'm just kidding. The That's Hip Hop Studios located in Burbank, California. I was working out while listening to this just to get one last deep dive today. And I told him by the end of the workout, I was more mentally stimulated than I was like physically stimulated. Because I'm working out.
It took you up
I'm
here,
just hearing
right?
like Aesop Rock, and I'm like, dang, I'd never been so detached from a physical workout because I'm trying to put so much focus on what I'm hearing that my brain is like,
your body and mind are in a
my
different
brain is
position.
doing double buys. And it's doing like,
He just hears this madman in his ear, just a vortex in his back. Who am I? When it's,
your physical strenuous activity won't ever compare to the, like,
no matter how hard you work,
You couldn't get your bars to work right. It'll be relation to
we're
the
gonna
bar
be
you lifted
here.
up.
We're gonna be here analyzing his power levels.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
over 9,000.
it's over 9,000. Over 9,000. Yes, Neppa.
But let's not forget to mention what he is doing though is remarkable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
we're joking and stuff, but we're not blind to the fact that what he's doing is just obscenely crazy. Like it's you know, it's part of the branch in hip hop, like
Yeah.
you said, that takes it to another level.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead.
You got me in the right pocket. It's like, I remember I did play Aesop before for other people. And the idea is simple. It's like playing a common song. Like, and just for an example, I play a good common song, like a song from B. I play it. I'm like, yo, what you think of the lyrics? Oh, I thought, man, he's just lyrical, bro. He's mad lyrical, right? So I play an Aesop song, the same frequency, same vibe, just like, yo, this dude is dope, right? Play him. The same result is he's lyrical. There's no other information though. He's lyrical. We get nothing further. Damn, that dude mad lyrical.
At a
That's
general-
it. That's
but-
all you're gonna get.
At a general level, no one's gonna say he's rhyming though.
Right. But the Walmart listener is gonna fight this motherfucker for the first 8 bars. Their hands are up, their defenses
Yeah.
are up because they're back in middle school. I'm doing homework. Why am I doing homework? Right. So that's why I say he's for MCs. He's for artists,
Yeah.
people that know how to write a song, people that know what bars do and how bars connect. Because the way that and great poets as well. The way that Aesop comes off, especially on this album, he sounds like a poet with no. I'm not saying you're offbeat. I'm saying he has this kind of connection to the music that he's not focused on being rhythmic. He's focused on being depth. Like, he wants to be as deep as possible. So when you listen to what he's saying and you actually like dive in, you probably have to be stoned off your ass to really get half of this shit. When you dive in and grab the gems, it's the most fulfilling part of the music. But when you're really trying to crack the code and you don't understand it, that's when you hate him. That's when you go, I don't fuck with him no more.
He gave us a Pandora's box, and we're still trying to crack it open from 2001.
2001, man.
But that's the gift of what makes these albums like this timeless. Where we're still looking at it, getting a deep dive. We do have the answer key still alive. It's the same example that I'll use for MF Doom and Food, where his lyrics are still here, but we don't have the answer key. We have both now.
The answer key's not enough.
Yeah, but the answer key won't even give the answers
Answer
at this
key-
point.
if we go on Genius right now, I assure you, we will get
Genius is gonna be
interpretations
like-
that contradict themselves.
Yeah,
immediately.
Genius sometimes has it even wrong. You know, that's the funny thing. Is like
You'll
even
get the
Genius-
404 error code.
Yeah.
No, Genius is smart enough,
let's-
nigga. It's not a genius. It's close enough to smart.
So let's talk about the album cover here. What do you guys see when you guys look at this album cover? I know you mentioned iconic or something like that.
My first impression is going to have the Shel Silverstein illustration, like where the sidewalk ends, kind of illustration, black and white.
Okay.
But after that, you'll get the idea of just a sad look at,
Assimilated culture.
Lord, like everyone,
Are they
just
kind of-
generalization of just everybody
This is
being
the-
together.
This is the common worker, right? The
Yeah.
common worker. It looks like it's kind of like chaotic a bit. Everybody's I don't know, looking kind of miserable almost, like
Yeah.
or unhappy or
Yeah, no, they're all in this gray state. There's no other color.
yeah.
Right. So they're in the gray state.
Right.
To me, what I see are completely without 100% understanding of this album. Amazon employees. They're all Amazon employees. Everybody on this
that's a
fucking
hot
cover works at Amazon. They're fucking soulless. Don't work at Amazon, please.
Make sure you find us here on all podcasts, including Amazon Podcasts. And
I was in management there, son. Don't work at Amazon. But anyway, that's what I see. Is kind of the vibe that my personal life experienced at Amazon. That's Amazon to me, bro. I'm not being funny, bro. Like, that's really what it looked like to me. The culture of people working in order to survive and nothing else.
what do you think about Zay? You actually like to draw and you do
Yeah.
a lot of good.
This is a definite style of sketching that is like almost realistic, fictional type of sketching.
That's definitely hand painted though. That's painted. That's definitely hand painted.
hand painted. You say?
Absolutely.
Oh, well, it looks like sketching.
It looks like strokes. It looks like strokes of a paintbrush.
But I
smeared.
also wanted to note this guy in the back wearing a business suit. I can't tell if he's a part of the working class or if he's like above the working class.
He's the manager. He's the tallest. He's the tallest figure in the
like
image.
A CEO,
only one in the suit too.
Yeah, he's the only one in the suit, and he's the tallest figure in the image, and he's the most distorted.
But it's definitely a darker tone.
If they put the lights on, they're probably on a subway train.
Yeah, probably. What do you think, Aesop? We're talking about like his rapping style.
I like
there
his
anybody,
name.
Is there anybody to compare him to at all?
Oof, no.
Shit, nah.
He's
we might have joked before we got started. It was like maybe Daylight.
Yeah,
Maybe Daylight, but Daylight is more, if from my perspective, Daylight's density, if we're talking about super dense MCs, right? The density on Daylight's end is how many associations he can make, right? It's like artichoke, the vegetable, art to choke, which is to choke in a rap battle, art to joke because you're funny, right? And he'll find 5 more after that, right? That's his density. Whereas Aesop is like, he won't say the man grabbed the milk carton. No, man propels his limbs to grab what is before him, right? Yeah. And it's like, damn, it makes sense. It's actually coherent. It's an idea. He uses his limb to grab what's before him.
Like milk, nope.
Right.
Lactose square.
The lactose square.
Square.
Right. No, exactly. Right arm. 5 fingers implanted deeply on the surface of some milk. Right.
And
or
we're
something.
not wrong.
We're not
he
wrong.
does
It's really what it
different
is.
Shit like that.
To freestyle this bullshit is hard.
Dude,
But,
imagine him freestyling like that.
man, I'm fucking quit, bro. I ain't
Everyone's
gonna
in the cipher like,
yeah. Orangutan matches with oranges and then people are just like quitting. But in all honesty, Aesop gonna be bad. But yeah, with all honesty, it's just the perspective that he provides, man. I don't want to get super nerdy with the literature. All right, guys. Literature wise, he is pushing the boundaries of what we are capable of in a hip hop song.
Yeah.
But as somebody that isn't black, it in my culture, we were just like, he's another white rapper. We moved him to the side. Okay, that's real life. So to be that talented and utilize vocabulary to such an extent as a black artist, he wouldn't have moved. You know what I'm saying? Especially around this time. I don't think this person would have moved. The closest MC that I got that you just asked, it really hit me. Skyzoo, African-American artist. His writing style is so literally dense that you give up. You just give up. I don't care anymore. I don't care what you're talking about. I leave, right? Aesop Rock is similar in this fashion, but Aesop's metaphors are where you get lost.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like he has a metaphor each line.
Yeah, every line. And then, but the metaphor, after a while, you start to realize metaphors are holding hands with other metaphors.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I'm a nerd now because I had to go all the way into the core of this song. Whereas Skyzoo is like, he's rhyming 9 to 10 syllables, the whole sentence, all throughout the song. It's about, like, the song's called Dollar Bill.
Yeah.
And he's talking about some shit that's in regards to cocaine. What are you talking about, right? And at the end of the song, the dollar bill is the cocaine. The dollar bill is what you roll up to snort cocaine. Mm-hmm. So he did all this work to build this song just to throw you off, right? Aesop does something similar, but he's not as cruel as Skyzoo to me. Skyzoo is cruel. Skyzoo will mid-bar in the song go, I know half of you guys got lost in the 4th bar. He'll literally say this in the song. I know you guys got lost in the 4th, so I'm on the 8th and you guys don't know what's going on, right? He'll literally laugh at you. Whereas Aesop to me feels like he's isolated, alone, and he doesn't give a fuck about what you receive. It's like he's going to make this amazing song, but it's not like he's looking for what you have to say about it. He's not looking for your dissection of the song. He's going to write something superbly dense and just throw it into the ether and call it a day. Right. That's how he feels on every project. Every project, he feels like he just throws an album into nothing.
And we mentioned like he's similar to Daylight, who Daylight is really dense. And it's like Aesop is dense, but he's also like a Yoda with it, with the way he matches his different words that you probably haven't heard in this century. Yeah. You know, and then once you like figure it out, it's like, okay, why couldn't he have just said idiot?
Right.
But use this other clever word that is, it's different. And like
decayed mental simpleton. Right.
I felt like
the decayed mental simpleton is what he calls
I literally felt like I was in class because I had to look up things that he was saying. and see the definition of these different things he was saying, to understand lyrically what he's talking about. Go ahead.
Delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification,
delayed
but
gratification.
it's like a lot of his descriptions. There's descriptions and there's punchlines, right? A description is what you mention before you land the punch, right? You know, I'm moving fast, hard like Goku or something, right? You know, you can't scam me. I'm over 9,000 like Goku. That's the description. Like Goku is the punchline, right? The description is I'm over 9,000, and the punchline is like Goku. Where Aesop goes crazy, it's like he goes so past the idea of what you think like a scouter would do to scan Goku, right? So it'll be primitive technology can't match the power that I have because I have 3 zeros past the 9 on his ass or something, right?
Yeah.
And it's like he doesn't say 9,000, he says 3 zeros past the 9. So it's like, I don't have time to visualize it, but Aesop is so slick with it. When you listen to him, especially Stone, when you listen to him, it's just the words turn into pictures. So him and Lupe hold hands in this regard because they speak pictures. So you mentioned
That's a good
Daylight.
one. Yeah.
One of our first is Daylight. We might as well just roll into it.
I also wanted to just really quick say I did hear a bit of and Kendrick Lamar a bit.
Oh, I feel like Kendrick got something from Aesop. Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I heard some Andre 3000, the way of sometimes he pronounces things. This person name or this MC name Idea.
Oh, definitely Idea. Yeah, for sure. Idea.
And the Travis Scott album recently came out. I listened through that and it had this like dystopian kind of dark feel that I feel like also Aesop Rock has, but Aesop Rocks is more like he's actually saying something, deep.
He's let's say
Scott,
Aesop
exactly.
Rock is grounded in realism, and he's looking through a god's eyes.
Yeah.
That's what I like to play with him. Like, I said Busta Rhymes he's like an angel in his music. I feel like Aesop Rock is like a god in his regard, and he has to explain something to us using things that we're familiar with.
Right,
so the workforce is something we can anchor ourselves to, and he's going to do anything to explain that.
The same flame that Prometheus gave to the humans. Zeus is lighting his cigarette with it, and Aesop is the one smoking the cigarette.
Exactly.
Like, man, these guys kind of get it.
Primitive simpletons, right? So
In the first, you have the samples from the BC Boys in the beginning. Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop and keep on to the break of dawn. Put one up, shackle me not. Clean logic procreation. So
That line
don't
had
hold me down.
I'm gonna have to submit that line had me stuck for a good 5 or so minutes on what that line right there.
Yeah.
Clean logic procreation.
wait, to
'cause
open that, like, it's so complex
it's
already.
so unorthodox of speaking. Like, who talks like that? Clean logic procreation. What do you mean? Because it's not exactly, I mean, sometimes rappers do throughout, one word things and you get it, but this wasn't like that. This was, okay, I know what clean means. I know what logic means. I get procreation. Now, how are they in relation to each other, and what are you trying to say?
Right,
Yeah.
but wait, put one up for Shackle Me Not is in relation to a skate video in the 80s.
Which is dope.
But okay, skate culture is also just about getting it done on the spot.
Yeah, having the freedom,
Yes.
which is, and we're talking about Labor Days,
Yeah.
being kind of free. That's what kind of, skating is. Kind of
Yes.
like a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then maybe to Aesop, Shackle Me Not might be the skate video that he thought was innovative.
Right. But then again, shackle itself.
Yeah, remove the shackles of work.
removing the shackles.
Right. So, okay, let's get here before we move forward.
Yeah.
Aesop is one of the reasons that I'm able to, as an artist or a writer, teach others that you can implement your reference to the point where the reference is a punchline, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the song you reference is Shackle Me Not and your song is about being unchained,
Right.
it just makes it deeper.
Right.
Because Aesop does that. He just like, it's not like I'm referencing Power Rangers. It's after I talked about feeling weak for 4 bars and saying I want to gain my strength, and then he talks about Power Rangers. So he's talking about his range of power, and he's like playing off of it. That's the type of shit he does. Like, I can dive into his world, but I cannot put my pen together like him. Like, his pen is just, it's like Jimi Hendrix, actually. It's like Jimi Hendrix, like guitar type of situation.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, because, and then too, this is another thing about him.
I did not invent the wheel. I was the crooked spoke adjacent, right?
Sometimes his lines connect, because they're even saying, like, when he says, put up one for shackle me not, clean logic procreation, one meaning he can be talking about clean logic procreation, meaning that, just on the general level, the way he's creative, it's very like positive.
Yeah, but wait.
then you
Or
can
maybe
get
a
the
mind fuck.
Then you get
His
the-
logic is clean, so
Right.
it is a creation of a professional.
Right. there you go.
Procreation.
Thank you, Andre.
So-
but at the same time, the other meaning is not clean logic procreation. So there's a
Exactly.
double to that, meaning like it's not always so exact. Sometimes it's sublime. Sometimes it happens.
He opens
by
the
instinct.
ability for a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah, yo, word.
Yeah.
That's
Lyrics.
tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did not invent the wheel. I was the crooked spoke
Now,
adjacent.
that is a dope line. I like that imagery of that.
But think we're only a couplet in this bitch, man.
So-
we're only a fucking couplet in, and we're all fucking out like maxed out with beating it.
His power level. Aesop. He's Aesoping 2 bars already.
It's too Aesop.
Find out in 30 years.
Yeah. What's the meaning of this bar, Aesop Rock?
What's the meaning of this? Find out in 30 years.
With the wires.
30 years later. What about this? Find out another 30 years. So the crooked spoke adjacent, so he's just the wobbly wheel.
Right.
Right, but okay, so he didn't invent the wheel, meaning the wheel. What is the wheel to you? The culture of hip hop, the culture of what we were experiencing.
Nice.
I didn't invent this rap style.
Right.
I'm just the crooked spoke adjacent to the wheel that is already created before I got here, man.
That is so dope because he's distincting himself.
Wait, but
From the idea of what your typical hip hop guy is, he's over here in the corner. He's the wobbly broken wheel
Wait,
who's
but-
kicking knowledge to you. Go ahead.
wait,
Andre.
what is the spoke though? The spoke is what keeps the wheel intact, brother. He's a crooked spoke. He's not even for the wheel. So the wheel, see, this is how stupid you sound talking about Aesop, bro. The wheel was invented by the culture itself, and he is a crooked spoke on the wheel, meaning he doesn't give a fuck. He's not even here to support this shit. He's on his own level. You know what I'm saying? We in the first couplet and we already gone.
While the triple sixers lassos keep angels roped in the basement.
So we got devils and angels played, always playing with dichotomies, left hand, right hand shit. Very
And
solid.
keeping the good in the basement.
Right.
Yeah.
In a lasso, which is like a halo in a way, but
I
keep it
walk
in-
the block with
Well,
the
okay,
halo.
sorry, wait, let me get that real quick. So the triple sixers are the industry reps, and the angels are the new people that hop into the game.
Yeah.
Right? So the triple sixers sees,
The
oh,
good
I'm here
MCs,
to
the
serve.
talented- the
Right.
talented MCs.
Yes.
They keep them in the basement.
Well, what do angels do conceptually? They serve, right? So I'm a triple sixer. I'm a dark guy.
right.
I know you're an angel because you serve, and all you say is, I want to serve the world. I want to be the greatest artist in the world.
Right.
I got you. They lasso them,
You're
pull
in the
them in
basement.
like they're cattle, baby. Like they're fucking animals. Come on, man. We could do this shit for an hour on one
I'm
song.
gonna hit the button every line.
Yeah,
we go.
exactly, man. You can't play with Aesop, man. It's
Okay,
just
next line, Mark.
intensity, man.
Next line.
Next line.
Yeah, I'm trying. Did you guys get high before you guys listen to this? Because I don't get that.
Yeah. So
I'm
like
just
the
saying, like,
industry-
there's demons holding up. There's demons holding the angels. Oh yeah, I
Wait. Okay. Triple sixers, lassos keep angels roped in the basement.
Yeah, but where do you get the industry reps?
Well, because
Well,
he's
the
talking about the
triple six-
labor.
right,
The work
he's
day,
talking
like,
about the
labor
so
day.
you guys are using the backdrop of
Yeah.
the album title,
Yes.
but not daylight the.
Okay.
We're using
Well,
the
no. Okay.
concept
No.
of what-
Okay.
That's how fucking
wait.
good he is.
No,
is that
okay.
we
This
could
is where
just-
we're at. 3 people fighting already.
Got it.
So this is where I'm at. Okay. So he has.
I'm just trying to get to like
He has
where you
multiple
guys.
layers. Okay, so one layer is the rap industry. So
Right,
the one he's not agreeing with the rap industry
Right,
layer.
correct.
So the work industry layer is still there, right?
correct.
So triple sixers rope in angels, right? Which is what people that are innocent
yeah.
that end up working at Amazon.
Yeah.
All right, I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna use Amazon as a dark place.
Right.
So triple sixers working at Amazon and roping in these beautiful, good, righteous people
who have talent.
Yes,
who want
and
to
pull them into Amazon, and the basement
keep
is
them down.
Amazon.
Yeah.
The basement is Amazon. Most people I saw go to Amazon were like people that college educated, everything.
Not a good. Yeah.
And they never left. They never left, bro. They're probably still there right now to this day.
My neighbor, I used to see him all the time in the front yard mowing his grass, and he's a young man, worked at Amazon, never saw him again.
Wow.
I swear, never saw him again. He's still there. I
He
don't
probably
see
never left Amazon as far as we know,
Yeah.
man. I walk the block with a halo on a stick, poking your patience.
Right. So again,
I walk the block with a halo on a stick. First of all, let's go to the hood.
Right.
Let's go to the hood right now.
Go.
Yo, let's go to Marcy Projects, son. 2001. Yo. I walk the block with a halo on a stick, poking your patience.
Right.
Yo, get the fuck out of here, son. Your ass. You're weak, son. Not a mention of vagina at all. Not a bitch.
You mad feminine.
You mad feminine, son. Get off the block,
And
son.
I think of those like halos with the, those like costume halos with the stick holding it, like
Yes.
a halo. I think of that.
Yes.
And he's poking you. So in one sense, he's kind of like an angel, but in a sense, he's not a full angel.
No, because
either.
we just did the triple sixers line,
Right,
lassoing angels.
Right.
So if you have a halo on a stick, we're still comparing to the angels. So he's not helping you. He's actually bad.
Yeah.
I walk the block with a halo on a stick, poking your patience.
Yeah.
Y'all catch a 30-second flash viral. Oh, sorry, visual. My bad. Y'all catch a 30-second flash visual, dirty cooperative med platoon. Bloom heads trip, split ridiculous. Fathom the splicing of first generation fuck up with a trickle down anti-hero smack. Cracking.
So this is some like Raekwon for a dream, like type of visual. Like
Raekwon
flash.
for a dream? I can't. Stupid Raekwon for a dream.
Dude, that'd be a sick
Raekwon
album.
just like, yo, what the fuck's going on, son? Is this shit real, P?
Yo, we down to 2 album titles,
Hey, yo,
B.
RZA.
Yo,
only
RZA,
built for
why you
Cuban
acting
links?
weird, son? Yo, your head is made of cabbage, son.
You got 2 choices. Only built for Cuban links or Raekwon for a dream.
Ooh, that would have been sick, actually. He did an album like that, Raekwon for a Dream. That would have been pretty dope. But what he's talking about here is medications, drugs, taking drugs, blooming. You could visualize a bloom, a head trip, and it's so bad, it's ridiculous. And then he talks about like a generational curse almost.
Yes.
Coming,
Got it.
imagining my generations who's all effed up, and it's like a trickle down. He's some sort of anti-hero here, where it's now the system, his heritage, it's created a monster inside, like a kraken, which is a sea monster. I don't even know how he knows that.
Anti-hero smack Kraken, because the anti-hero, right? The Kraken does what
Smack
it wants to do.
could be another
Yeah.
reference
Right.
for drugs. I don't know.
And I think the Kraken is also a play on cracking like consciousness. Or
And then you got
breaking
trickle down, which is reminiscent of Reaganomics, trickle down
Yeah.
type of system.
I pace my game for 0 hour completion. Listen, that's dope. 0 hour completion means I instantly win. Right? The moment I do it is done.
See, there's different interpretations though. So he got that interpretation. I got the interpretation that he's going to take his time and he's going to finish still
strong.
on the final minute.
Okay.
Like all the way. He's going to use up
Oh,
every
so
little
it's gonna be a
second of
clutch
his
shot.
life.
A clutch
down
shot.
To the
Yeah, because
zero.
people are like, yeah, you're down to 0 hour.
Yeah, he's going to use everything to the final zero. That's kind of my interpretation. I got.
I like no, but look at the work.
it's different.
Man.
Yeah.
I that's what makes him incredible to me because I love this moment when I can sit with other people
Yeah.
and nobody agrees. That's good shit to me,
good.
man.
Yeah, if
I
we
even feel
don't
like we
agree, that's
can
good.
we can agree on some Lupe shit, but I feel like Aesop is the one moment we're like, man, we have to fight to really
Yeah,
understand.
there's
what
going
he's
to be
saying.
different interpretations.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Ends up calling him a cretin, Splash, Duke of early retirement, picket dream. So,
look at that. Duke-
focusing in
Okay,
on
the Duke of Earl. Duke of Earl, but
yeah.
early.
Yeah, but Duke
Yeah.
of early retirement picket dream.
So,
Yeah,
so
so-
he's dreaming of early retirement.
Wait, but retirement, we're just getting out of a
Even-
job, and then
yeah.
a picket, you're picketing the job.
well, this is
How old is this motherfucker at the time?
Yeah, so what was he born in 74, 84, around Reagan's time, so 84 to 89.
Yeah.
Um,
So he's experienced.
so
at
he
this
has this idea of a lot of people in a lot of companies at this time had pensions.
Yeah.
So this is his saying of like I'm a child of the early retirement dream. American Nightmare hogging the screen now.
So now, now I see him shifting.
He's looking
where-
into the future.
where he's criticizing the idea of the American dream.
Yes.
It's like, you think it's an American dream? Nah, it's an American nightmare. Look what we're in.
Oh,
Like,
okay. So wait, he's the Duke of early retirement picket dreams, right? Meaning I'm the greatest
Yeah.
that's advocating that I want you guys to just get out of this shit early, right? Because, or rather, sorry, I did it wrong. He's calling out the idea that you can retire early, and he's picketing that. Maybe.
And I think also too, like the person who authored Duke of Earl also had a picket dream of retiring early, and they did.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's directly referencing that
Come
or
on, man. Look
or
how
the
much
idea.
He probably is. Like this is
Yeah,
gonna be
exactly.
like-
We don't have time for this
Yeah.
shit, son.
The key word of all this, he probably is. Like,
Probably
this is probably
is.
like a pseudo reference to the ancient 19th century, the
Yeah.
18th century. Yeah, it probably is.
It's trying to break down the Simpsons predicting the
Yeah,
future.
yeah,
It's not going to work,
yeah.
man. It's just, it is what it is.
I'll hold the door open so you could stumble in.
Uh-huh.
If you'd stop following me
around the jungle gym, right? But what is the jungle gym in regards to what he's doing?
Obstacles.
Right. Facts. Easy shit, right? So with Aesop, got what? If I had 10 seconds to explain it, someone like Jay-Z has a trust factor so great that you can give him two perspectives. You can give him a black perspective and a white perspective, meaning hood perspective and very rich perspective.
Right.
Aesop has a hood perspective and a rich perspective and some other perspective. I don't know the third one. I don't know what the third one is. Lupe has a black perspective, a white perspective, and like a RZA perspective, I call it. Like I can meditate and be RZA and listen and get some bars.
Immigration.
Right.
Because he has his family, I guess. I hear that throughout this album, like little seeds of that.
Right. Yeah.
So the perspective of being an immigrant, coming from that heritage, the generation of immigration. What line were we on? Now it's
American
honor.
Nightmare hogging the screen. I'll hold the door to stumble in if you stop following me around
Now
the
it's
jungle
honor,
gym.
and
Now
I spell it
honor.
with the H.
I stole from heritage, right? Because his honor is his heritage. He already had the heritage first, but he stole it from his heritage. But it's always been there, right? So the honor that he brings.
See, another interpretation I get from
but
that
the honor, the H is silent in honor. So what is he doing?
Yeah.
I'm just
another interpretation I get though is that he's distancing himself from his heritage. So it's the H is he's taking that from heritage because he wants nothing to do with heritage, and he's building his own honor. Mm-hmm. So he's creating his own honor because his parents and generations was effed up. So he's trying to take away from that and trying to rebuild something else with the H instead of heritage or.
But but why would he steal an H?
Well, because
that would be silent in the word honor, man.
Well, no, he stole it and then made honor silent.
Made honor silent.
Ooh, okay. All right.
He's all like, man, that's exactly what I did.
That's exactly what I interpreted my lyrics.
You're right.
This is my favorite podcast.
So Merritt crutched on the wretched refuse of my teeming resonance. I promise.
Right there.
No, that line alone.
Merritt crushed.
No, I'm at the pen right now, son. I'm in the studio with my man. Merritt crutched. I've never would start my bar with Merritt crutched.
Right, never would we word such a sentence in this brilliant
bizarre
way.
fashion, son.
But
Merritt crutched on the
right
wretched
here, talking about
refuse of
how
my teeming resonance.
what I get that from that my interpretation.
Sounds
of this,
like what a villain would say.
Exactly.
My interpretation of this is that he's saying America has exploited like those that were wretched that came to this land by immigration, and is exploiting those, and their crutches are those people that are immigrants.
Well, the Merritt crutch refers to a person without talent. This person,
which could be a poor, diseased, or a person without talent,
or a person that didn't have the means to be the person that they could be. Right? I wouldn't have the means to be talented because I'm in a wheelchair or something. Right?
Right. Because these are the workers. These are the workers that are sustaining the labor force. Right. The labor force is sustaining these companies, America, capitalism. So like their merits are their crutches. They're using us for crutches almost.
Wait, so the Merritt crutched on the wretched refuse of my teeming resonance, right? Because his resonance is extreme.
Yeah.
It's it keeps going, right? So the Merritt crutched on the wretched refuse of him, right? He's saying that you guys are trying to stop me, and he's got another layer after that. So, but here's what I'm getting to you on, Zay.
Go ahead.
This is the setup bar, bro. And you fucking, you're flummoxed. You're flummoxed on the setup bar. It's not, it's nobody writes like this anymore.
We're
man.
not worthy.
So
We're not worthy.
I was going to say, if I take this whole line, let
30
me
years.
correct what I was last saying. If I were to take this whole line, my interpretation of this is that America is, Merritt crutched on the wretched refuse of my teeming resonance. So his teeming resonance is he's shining, right?
Yeah.
So America is in a sense using him as a crutch. They're using those that are smart as crutches.
Or
also
maybe
his
using
family,
geniuses to get out.
His family could also be using him as a crutch.
It could be the excess of his teeming resonance because he says the wretched refuse of my teeming resonance.
But that line is from the Statue of Liberty, right? That's on the bottom of the Statue of Liberty. He's talking about those wretched come through.
So they're trying to strip his liberation then, right?
Well, he is Jewish, so there's always been this type of a lot of people have had this type of hatred towards them. Mm-hmm. So this is a great deep dive into what he's feeling and what he has felt and what his family has felt for the longest time.
Right.
Thank you for tuning in with That's Aesop.
Yeah, it is that.
That's Aesop.
Straight from the 909.
That's Aesop. It is. That's Aesop. All right, continue on, Mark. Yeah. We can't we can't break down every single bar here.
But that's what you want to do.
That's what we want to do. But
you just gotta get out of there.
I promise, tempest toss, breed with bleeding conscience. conscience.
creed.
See the creed's accent responsive, but my spores divorce the wattage.
My sports divorced the wattage.
So
see
I
the
take
creed.
that to mean like his,
Splitting the power between his creed.
like I would think like your creed is you want to be responsible,
The
you want to
creed-
be responsive,
Yeah.
but the industry's not serving
Yeah,
that.
his
so
creed's given
stuff
the
is off
signal
the
out to be
radio.
responsive, but the spores.
But
spores-
his sport would be the effort to win the game, right?
And
spores.
It's not.
It says spores.
I think
It says
so.
spores.
I think it's supposed to be spores, but Genius has it as sports.
Sport or spores.
My sports.
But it's
My
not on the
sports.
radio. In other words, his music isn't on the
Spores
radio.
divorced the wattage. What the hell? And
It's
I'm
just a
sleeping
different
now.
way to say that.
And I'm sleeping now. Wow. Yeah, the settlers laugh.
Insomnia.
You won't be laughing when your covered wagons crash.
Oh my God, that rhymed.
Right. But what is a cover rap? You won't be laughing when your covered wagons crash. Is that Oregon Trail play? Like
so like other rappers, I think are like laughing at him, but they won't be
your
laughing.
bandwagon maybe?
Oh, could be that too. Yeah, that's another
Ooh,
interpretation.
dude,
It could be.
this is us getting to this destination. This is the listener getting to the destination. You won't be laughing when the buzzards drag your brother's flags to rags. You won't be laughing when your front lawn's spangled with epitaphs.
Yeah.
So now we're going to flags, spangled, Star Spangled Banner.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be laughing, and I'll hang my boots to rest when I'm impressed.
So I triple knot them and forget them, right? And isn't a triple knot what you're taught in the military with the boots that you would be hanging up? So he's like retiring in the military fashion. It's ridiculous, man.
His
I
origami.
like this last part right here.
His origami dream is beautiful, but man, those wings will never leave the ground without a feather and a lottery ticket. Now settle down.
I ain't gonna lie.
This guy
That's
can
Shakespearean.
rhyme.
Shakespearean, bro.
That one's sick.
It's
That was a sick
Shakespearean,
line.
bro.
That was a sick bar right there.
This guy's at a point where he can rhyme, and he probably would be a very ill MC in that era. But now he's in his own signature touch, creating his own ideas, creating his own branch in hip hop, and still kind of doing it the same in the trailblazing in each regard.
Yeah.
Well, if he decided to go in one route, but he's doing it in this route, still being a unique force in that.
Now, there's a lot of rhymes in here too. I don't think we focused really on the rhymes for today.
I suggest not to focus on rhymes.
Yeah,
right,
but we
Aesop.
could. There was a lot of inner rhymes there. There's
Yeah,
a
but
lot of
it's-
inner
it's-
rhymes
I don't-
happening.
No disrespect for how hard he might work on these rhymes. I don't look at him for rhymes. He's one of the MCs that I would really look into for depth.
True.
Depth, extraordinary depth that is not casual in any way.
But there are, let's get it straight. There are rhymes happening. Look, just the first line. Put me up for shackle me not, clean logic, procreation. I did not invent that. So there's a lot of little inner rhymes happening.
Yeah, but he's not going for 5 and 6 syllable patterns.
True,
It's all the
but-
homonym
But
beat.
it's all in there though. I'm just trying to say it's in there.
Not a common man talking homonyms, right?
I'm all in the homonym.
Yeah, he's not doing those.
All I ever wanted to do was pick apart the day and put the pieces back together my way, my way. All I wanted to do was just pick apart the day and put the pieces back together my way.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. No, okay, so this is what, even when we're going through it now, it's like the moment I hit my own self in the head and go, it's a way that he expresses what he wants to say that makes me insensitive or insecure rather, where it's just like, he's so good at describing like the sun, right? On a hot summer day is what we say, right? As MCs, it's just easy to say on a hot summer day, but it's on a day where the summer would ring that is too loud, right? And it's like, what the
Yeah.
and then you find out the sun is a sound and it's resonating too high because it's hot. And it's like, I don't got time to break your shit down. So when it comes to Aesop, it's like that level of depth as far as putting your pen together is like, I will write a rhyme sometimes, and Aesop's the reason I go, that's too simple. It's not, it's just too easy. But Aesop is also the reason why I don't go so far that it doesn't make fucking sense to human beings.
Correct. When I want to give this,
You know, it's like the RPMs on a speedometer where you see the red part where you're not supposed to have your car in the red
Too
section
lyrical.
of
Yeah,
your RPMs.
you can't go red lyrical.
He's always flirting in that area. He's just he's in that section.
now I
there.
want to give him a credit here because there are some times where rappers might try to sound intelligent or try to hide it like it's something like they're saying something meaningful in this encryption, whereas Aesop Rock really is saying something
he
under this
is.
encryption.
Oh.
So to his credit, there really is something here. Like if you were really going to dig, you're going to really find the treasure.
Yeah.
But there are some other rappers where they might sound like they're smart or encrypted and you dig and there's like, wait, there's nothing here. So at least to Aesop Rock's credit, there actually is a treasure here. you know, and
All jokes aside, there is an actual graph that we can reference. There's
Right.
going to be a reference point where they ended up analyzing the 35,000, the first 35,000 lyrics of every rapper and their first works. He ends up being at the top end of the spectrum, surpassing that of Moby Dick, surpassing that of Shakespeare.
Wow.
And in a gap of about 1,000, there's Cannabis. There's a lot of the members of the
Rakim.
Wu-Tang Clan. There's a lot of those people. But then,
Royce.
to be there and then to have you surpass them and be at the top.
He's on top of the Empire State Building now.
Yeah. On top of the world. Slacker bound.
Oh wait, this is an important bar though. His origami dream is beautiful. So
that's right.
Picture the swan, origami.
Molded with your hands.
But man, those wings will never leave the ground without a feather or a lottery ticket. Now settle down.
because origami is paper and it can't fucking fly.
And it's beautiful. Your American dream, it's beautiful and all. Whatever you're dreaming to accomplish, yeah, it's beautiful. But it'll never leave the ground without a lottery ticket, because these people that are already up there in society are pushing us down. Mm-hmm. He's saying there's a system that's pushing everybody down on purpose, designed that way. Mm-hmm. And, you can try to go for it, but he's just giving you, you're in a flawed system already.
It's like signing up for war.
Yeah.
That's what he's going for. So we see a lot of war analogies, and the war analogies, we before we got started, was like, do you think they make sense? And I was like, yeah, I guess they do, because all war analogies is simply, somebody recruits you, saying this is the best opportunity in your life.
You want that Hellcat, right?
Yeah, you want to take care of your family. All that shit. You want to jump out the Harrier, and
What I was gonna say?
fly on jets and it's all that shit. And then you say yes, you sign over.
Yeah, and then
now
you take the intelligence test or whatever, and then you're stuck in infantry. not even doing any of that.
I was gonna say
You're working on air conditioners and
one
shit.
of the things about digging into this too is that sometimes you could be really led off track. Like we were just looking up that line about the med platoon or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm over here like watching videos about Thomas Hunter. Like I'm watching is he talking about this? I'm watching a whole 2-hour movie to understand what he's talking about. And then I'm looking into interviews by the actual guy from Conan O'Brien. I'm way sidetracked. I'm like, wait, what was the purpose? Why was I even here? I have to go back to Aesop Rock's lyrics, you know what I mean?
That's fire to me that if an MC
He's
can
the hip hop version of multiple Wikipedia tabs.
Exactly.
When you start clicking on one,
You gotta go to the
one,
next
go to
one. I think what he brought into my consciousness is the idea that we have to do the research. You have to figure out what the fuck he's saying. He's so good, you just want to know.
And this is where the people like us will stick around. Mm-hmm. The average listener may struggle to want to, unless they feel like they're in a position where I want to get this done. I want to listen through this. I want to get this. It's that initial challenge that some would take, and then this is the situation that we have where we're breaking it down for other people as well. Attempting to.
Wait, so verse 2, right? This is something I want everybody to put in their head right now. Y'all are rappers, right? Try to put these words in this order in your mind and see if it makes sense. Slacker-bound intimate tabloid headline with a post. Did you ever think to write any of these words in that order?
Oh, his power level. Aesop. We're getting a read on Aesop Rock. Oh my God. 40,000. He's at 40,000 now. Second verse. See, I'm glad we put the scouter in there. That's like the best thing.
It works.
So what is he talking about here? He's talking about how they're lazy.
Slacker-bound
They're lazy
tabloid
these
headline with
these
a
people
post.
in the media are lazy. They're giving you maybe an intimate, so maybe a love affair tabloid headline.
Wait, no. An intimate tabloid headline is something that catches your attention, right?
Okay.
So slacker-bound, meaning I'm catching the guys that are not paying attention. Mm-hmm. Intimate tabloid headline, right? So Angelina Jolie caught sucking Tyler Perry's dick.
Yeah.
Right.
See,
headline with a post. The post.
I see
The
it the other
post
way,
is
though.
catches attention.
See, and I see it the person who's putting that out is lazy. They're just let's just put this out because it's gonna get them.
Yeah.
I see that as lazy.
Yeah.
But then you're saying on the other side too, the lazy person just
it catches their eye.
It's
easy because I don't have to think about it.
Right.
The slacker bound person, right? they're not really considering trying to work any harder. They're not doing any better.
Right.
Slacker bound is going downhill.
Right.
So that the catching them on some dumb shit. Shimmy cross the centerfold, enter dead time and golf. So the centerfold can be an advertisement to get you to move. That's what I thought it was.
So I saw it as shimmy, like you turning the page, you know, the page.
Yeah,
kinda
shimmy across, and then the centerfold is the centerfold
Page.
piece of the magazine.
Yeah. So it
which
kind of
is-
shimmies as you turn the page.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it.
And then enter dead time in golf.
So you
So, it
wasted
could
time.
be
Lost time, maybe.
yeah,
or-
just reading a magazine with no worth to, like just a time wasting magazine, just